Sold, stolen, awoken, collected. Yes, all these words have to do with our news today, which start right here, right now. Greetings Rummies and welcome to Rum, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to our regular news roundup, our weekly sim racing news. Welcome to the channel if you're new here, and thanks to all those who come here often, especially those who subscribe. My name is Serta, and I will be your host for this video. What a week, really, what a week! From accusations of code stealing over the cut a limb to save the body maneuver by Motorsport Games to some semblance of life with regards to Le Mans Ultimate, there's a lot going on. And meanwhile, we are finishing our preparations for the Sim Racing Expo as well as starting preparations for other endeavors we have planned. But let's go step by step in our news, which are really juicy this time. Now look at that, Motorsport Games are really trying to survive at least until the release of Le Mans Ultimate, more on it later, and have sold the NASCAR license to Iracing for allegedly $5 million US. That should give them about 1 month of money burning more than they had before. I hear you saying, but doesn't Iracing already have NASCAR? Well, you are right. But with this exclusive license, Iracing will now be able to release a completely new game without all the baggage of the Iracing platform just around NASCAR. The title is planned to be released for PC, Xbox, Nintendo Switch and PlayStation at the same time, most of them markets that Iracing has never touched before. But you'll have to wait until 2025 to see the magic. By their own words, they will release a simulation-style game, whatever that means. Interestingly, Iracing's president, or his PR agency, or whoever wrote his text in the press release, considers this primarily a console game. On the other hand, in the same press release they talk with pride about NASCAR Speed Hub on Roblox and NASCAR Arcade Rush, so I don't know. NASCAR Heat 5 and the Nintendo Switch game NASCAR Rivals will still be supported by Motorsport Games until the end of 2024. From this side of the news, it sounds like a good idea. NASCAR 21 was an irredeemable dumpster fire nobody wanted to be seen near to. NASCAR is still a hot property even if viewing numbers are plummeting, and Motorsport Games desperately needs money to even stay alive long enough to release Le Mans Ultimate, which they hope will let them survive long enough to finish and publish IndyCar 24, once called IndyCar 23. At least it seems this is the strategy the new CEO is going for, and good luck with that. Oh, and we'd be surprised if NASCAR didn't nudge Motorsport Games in the right direction. As I said at the beginning of the video, Motorsport Games are cutting a limb to save the body, or so they hope. Sim Racing Systems founder Enrique Alves has joined Straight 4 and will be responsible for the multiplayer parts of GT Revival. Also, they seem to be working on getting Canadian track Mont Tremblant into the sim. If you are a fan of Simucube or just want to know what they are planning, they've made the development of their software more transparent, even opening up their digital planning board for everyone to see what they are working on or even thinking of. They also welcome any ideas by you in their Discord. And something utterly more important than anything else. It's October, and that means it's Pinktober, the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As is customary for SCS in Pinktober, they are raising awareness for breast cancer, which is not only more important than all the sim racing drama put together, but can be deadly. They do that by selling a special Pinktober DLC with special cosmetics for your trucks. As they did last year, the money collected this way will go 100% to the Czech charity Alliance of Women with Breast Cancer. Support SCS in raising awareness, support any local organization working on awareness, or even better, on defeating breast cancer, and most important, be kind to each other. In general, but also specifically any person diagnosed with breast cancer. If you or one of your loved ones have been diagnosed, our heart goes to you. Keep fighting that motherfucker of a cancer, alright? The drama was thick this week as accusations of Rennsport stealing the code from R-Factor 2 flew around. What had happened? A user whose name we won't mention posted in the Studio 397 forums about both sims having the same name for some data names and variables. Things like steering fraction or front subbody. Now, I'll give him this. Those are kinda specific names for data, so maybe there was something going on here? Many people chimed in with opinions, most of them completely uninformed, and I won't repeat some of the conversations I had with people whose whole body of knowledge about software development was as empty as your bank account after you've bought some fanatic QR2s. Those with better knowledge of software development, and even some with knowledge about development of racing sim software, suppose the data came from libraries both sims shared in some way. Even Ian Bell was the voice of reason in this chaos. Hold on, let me tell you what a library is in the IT world, and software developers, please listen to some music while I do so, because I'm going to oversimplify a lot. Coding can be very boring when you're doing the same over and over and over again, so to speak, reinventing the wheel in every project. For some problems in software development, there are quite specific solutions, well-established algorithms. Many programmers put those in collections of algorithms called libraries, so they don't need to write those algorithms anew every time they have to solve the same problem. Many of those libraries are free to use, even open source. Most of the internet runs on open source libraries. Some can only be used if you pay a license. Anyway, in this specific case, it was quite possible both groups of developers used the same libraries. Or maybe Studio 397 sold parts of their code to Rennsport. They are in dire need of money, as we all know. Studio 397 then put out a statement saying they had not licensed any part of their code to anybody, not naming Rennsport at all, but implying the ongoing drama and pouring gasoline into the fire. But those in the know within the sim racing world remembered that there is a set of code and libraries even older than R-Factor 2, the so-called Easy Motor Software Engine. ISI is the acronym for Image Space Incorporated, a company that developed racing games for a long while and which nowadays is more concentrated on selling licenses to the code of their libraries for, you guessed it, racing physics, and working mostly in professional racing simulations. As an aside, we spoke about Rennsport and ISI in our last podcast. See the link up there. If you look deep enough into their code, you'll find ISI code in R-Factor 1, Automobilista 1, R-Factor 2 and Automobilista 2, Race Room, and even quite possibly in Need for Speed. While the drama was rampant, especially with people who know nothing about software development, who thought they had the smoking gun proving Rennsport had stolen from R-Factor 2, Rennsport released a statement making it clear that, contrary to what had been said by them until then, they had bought the license to the ISI physics after finding out building your own physics from scratch is hard. No shit, Sherlock. So, long story short, somebody found similarities in code, and instead of approaching Studio 397 privately, letting them notice that, went for maximum drama and the false accusation of stealing. Because on the internet your farts have to make the most stink or something. A group of people with zero knowledge waffled around while different groups of people knowledgeable in software development or even sim racing software development used Occam's razor to presuppose it had something to do with shirt liveries and even maybe with the so-called IC Motor software engine, which is used by almost all racing sims out there. There's two issues we want to point out within all this unnecessary drama. The Studio 397 forum user should have contacted Studio 397 privately and then maybe Rennsport and have pointed out the possible issue. Case would have been closed in minutes. Instead, he or she looks like a fool now for spouting false accusations with little to no factual basis. On the other hand, Rennsport should not have stated they were developing everything on their own after deciding to license from ISI, so their communication was, let's be kind and say it was lacking. Their communication policies have been strange and rife with misunderstandings from day one. Some can be attributed to the cynicism of the community, which in small doses can be healthy. Most can be attributed to a strange communication strategy we don't understand completely. All in all, it was much ado about nothing. Lots of unnecessary drama produced by people thinking they were very clever while knowing nothing or not much. Or as we say here, a typical day on the internet, source of all knowledge. Oh baby, it's cold outside. Well, not really, but you lot started racing again as if in September. At least when it comes to Assetto Corsa Competizione and most especially BeamNG, neither of which reaches their highest numbers but still jumps higher. Interesting also the uptake of Dirt Rally 2. Maybe all those videos about EA Sports WRC have made people remember there is already a good rally simulation out there. Interest for Automobilista 2 is waning after 2 good months enjoying the 1.5 massive physics changes, returning to the levels of July. We are not sure yet as we need more data, but it could well be the usage numbers are reaching a plateau, by which we mean they won't be growing much more in the next time. It remains to be seen if EA's WRC, Le Mans Ultimate, Assetto Corsa 2 and any other new sims can give those numbers new impulses. Time will tell. Don't you dare go anywhere after watching this video. If you do, you may miss the first race of the new season of the Evolution Racing Academy on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Join Cody, Prownach and me watching the creme de la creme of this training community trying to get ahead of each other. And maybe we'll see Eike racing, or maybe we'll make fun of Eike racing. Time will tell. And on Wednesday, the fine drivers of the Automobilista 2 Community Cup are going to trade paint with the walls of Bathurst in their very classic Super V8 cars. Let's see if it's only the walls scratching on KCSR's cars or if the other drivers are going to be able to get ahead of them. Wednesday 10 PM Automobilista 2 Community Cup, tonight 9 PM. Get the popcorn rolling, sit down and have fun! Patrons help us bring better product reviews and sim racing news. Become our hero by becoming a patron at patreon.com/romrom. Amongst other perks, becoming a patron will fix your name for posterity like this, but you'll also be able to participate in our podcast recording, get to know what we plan and what we're doing, and will be able to take part in our decisions. A big thank you to our patrons and members. If you come here often, please consider subscribing.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Oh yeah, this week we got some information about Le Mans Ultimate from Motorsport Games themselves. In an internal interview with 3 of the developers of the sim, all long-time R-Factor 2 developers already, they tell about how they go about building the cars based on CAD files, the digital design files used by the car companies themselves, but also went with photos when designing the looks of the hypercars, and funny thing, they loved loved getting pictures of the cars done in Portimao, as the special design of this track meant they got to see parts of the cars that were hidden from them in other pictures. They also got to get up close to the cars, for example with the Cadillac, as well as talking to those responsible for teams and cars. Also, they disclose it takes them about 3 months to have the visual design for one car ready inside and out. As you can see from the images, the Peugeot 9X8, the Porsche 963 and the Ferrari 499P seem to be ready. They are candid about how using the R-Factor 2 engine has helped them having a good basis for their work on which they could build up the rest of the graphics. Without mentioning any big details, they assert Le Mans Ultimate will have significant improvements over what R-Factor 2 delivers, like dynamic buildup of dirt on the cars. And it's not only hypercars, but the GTE cars R-Factor 2 already offers will be included in updated form, even if 2023 is the last year for them in the WEC. Now that we have a direct line of contact to the Le Mans Ultimate team, is there anything you would like to know? Let us know in the comments so we can forward your questions to them.